An urgent plea of investigation. 6 lawmakers are calling on the FBI to investigate a banker named Dominic Ng. The lawmakers are concerned that Ng could spill the beans on U.S. intelligence to Beijing officials. That's over his alleged ties to the Chinese Communist Party and the influential position he's holding right now. Let's zoom in.
President Biden tapped Ng to represent the U.S. at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC. In this role, Ng would have access to privileged information and intelligence. He would also advise world leaders on key issues. APEC is a forum that promotes free trade in the Asia-Pacific region. Its 21 member countries account for over 60% of global GDP, including the U.S., China, and Australia. Ng's appointment comes 2 years after he donated to President Biden's fundraising committee called the Biden Victory Fund.
Before President Biden nominated him, Mr. Ng had donated $100,000 to the Biden Victory Fund and $35,500 to the Democratic National Committee.
Philip Lenzicki is an investigative reporter. He broke the story on Ng's ties to agencies linked to Beijing's United Front Work Department. The state agency works to expand the Chinese Communist Party's influence overseas. Experts say it's involved with Chinese espionage efforts.
And what this is the Chinese Communist Party's effort to manage those outside of the party. And so they are targeting non-Chinese, they're targeting religious minorities, and even traditionally, they're going after business associations and trade unions and all types of clubs. They want to get control of these different organizations so that they can establish a united front and push the CCP's policy objectives.
And here's what Lenzicki uncovered about those ties. Ng has held high-level positions in groups tied to Beijing's United Front Work Department. Since 2019, he served as executive director of the China Overseas Friendship Association, or COFA. The United Front Work Department founded the group. Looking back to 2013, Ng worked as the executive director of another agency related to COFA. It's called the China Overseas Exchange Association. Ng met with 2 leaders from this organization in the U.S. and China. These 2 leaders are also members of what's called the CPPCC. That's the committee that oversees Beijing's United Front system. One of Korea's leaders is Chiu Yuanping. In a meeting, she told Ng that she has faith in Chinese-American elected officials and hopes they'll play more active roles in Congress, local government, and think tanks in the future. Ng wears multiple hats. On top of his CEO title for East-West Bank, he's also a member of a think tank in Washington called the Council on Foreign Relations. Beyond that, he's a former board member of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, Los Angeles branch. In the letter to the FBI, lawmakers highlighted a concern. They say China's United Front Department plus its affiliated groups allow people like Ng to gain influence in sensitive American institutions and advocate for Beijing's interests. They say Beijing used this tactic to infiltrate governments and influence policies and support outcomes deemed desirable by the Chinese Communist Party. NTD reached out to Ng for comment but did not receive a reply before airtime. Lenzicki said it's important for Americans to wrap their heads around a potential reality.
That there is a truly widespread and insidious network that is embedded itself in the United States, and that this network of individuals belong to businesses, they belong to local community organizations, they belong to media outlets, and they're in government. This is an extremely concerning potential reality for folks to have to grapple with.
Responding to the Republican lawmakers' letter, several Democrat lawmakers, including Judy Chu and Ted Lieu, defended Ng. In a statement, they said no Chinese American should face suspicions of disloyalty based on their ethnicity. The FBI said it has no further comment, and TD also reached out to the White House and APEC, but did not hear back before airtime.